1 Samuel 3:11, the Lord said to Samuel, "Behold, I am about to do a thing in Israel at which both ears of everyone who hears it will ring." This is Deep Renew. Hey guys, welcome back to Deep Renew. I am your host again, Marie. Your hub for all things God, life, and productivity. We have a very special segment in which I get to share with you just a little bit of a life experience that I had. To start off, I would just like to apologize to my father, who passed. I know one of the interactions that we had, I told you, hey, forget about it. Like, let's just put the things in the past. Like, don't worry about it. I know it happened. But like, let's just not talk about it and let's just not worry about it. It's okay. I know I said that. I would like to extend my apology to you and first and foremost to God because I said it prematurely. I said it because I just got sick and tired of like just waiting to get a confession. But it's not what God said. I would just like to let everyone know my desire is to please God and not to please man. And so that's what brings us here today. To start off, I would just like to tell you guys a little bit about myself. So I migrated here to the USA at a very young age. I believe it was 4 or 5 years old at a very young age. And with migrating here, I left my mother and my brother back in my home country. And it was just me and one of my siblings and my father here for a good while, for a massive amount of years. It was just us three here. I feel like I was a kid who was very shy, very timid. I didn't really know what to say at the time in which I needed to say it. Like I wasn't very like outgoing. I'm not sure, but I believe that that's what probably made me, the perfect victim. Like you're gonna pick someone who only has one parental figure. You're going to pick someone who, isn't going to speak because I was very timid. I was very shy when I was younger. Anyone who knows me growing up, like I was quiet. So what led up to it? What led up to everything was this. I was summoned to my father's office because we all had, it was a big house that we were living in back in those days, but it was a big house that he rented out, but Pas also rented it out to several other people. So it was me, him, and my sibling living in one room. But he had like an office there that was set up like, how you can separate your room, like there's an office area. So I was summoned to his office area and he told me that someone came over to him and told him what I'd been doing. And I was taken aback because I'm like, okay, what have I been doing? And then he told me, hey, like this person, he's been telling you to look at him or to touch him in certain areas. And yes, that was happening, but I'm a child, so I don't know if it's wrong or not. And looking back, it was more so like an accusatory way in which he did it. Like, it wasn't more so, hey, I'm going to defend you. Hey, this happened, but like, it's okay. Like, I understand, like, you're the victim. It was more like, hey, like, you're to blame. Like, why did you do this type of vibe? So after that happened, it was almost as though the man checked out and he checked in. So with the man before him, it was more so just, okay, I'm saying just to make it lighthearted, but it's not. I was molested at a very young age. It was more so him showing me his body parts, him telling me to touch it or to do this or to do that. I remember there was one time where he told me to lift up my shirt so he could see my breasts. And mind you, this is like a family friend. It was almost like the man checked out and he checked in, but worse. And once he checked in, it started off by me being told to touch him or look at him. And when I'm saying he checked in, I'm referring to my physical earthly father, Pas. That's who I'm referring to be very clear. He checked in and it was much worse. It progressed much worse. And thinking back, I was innocent in thought. I was innocent in experience. This started off around elementary school, of course, because I didn't really, as a child, you're innocent. You don't know you're wrong from your right. You don't know. And the reason why I say looking back, I was innocent is because I recall and experience a moment. I recall a moment where I was just like playing around, like I just want to play. I'm a kid. I want to play. And he called me over, and I didn't want to really come over because like I don't want to do anything like with you. Like I don't want to be bothered by you. Like I enjoy playing games or whatnot and like playing around. And he called me over, and once I made it there, I remember I was in a happy mood. Once I made it there, and he could tell like I didn't want to be there, like I wanted to go play. And he was like, something like, if you keep acting like that, I'm gonna wake up your brother so he can come too. And in my mind, I was like, oh snap, he's gonna wake him up because my brother was deep in sleep. He's gonna wake him up. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Kids, right? He's gonna wake him up. I'm like, yes, do it. And he was like, he just kind of laughed and he said no. I was like, okay. So to continue on that, that's the home that it started in. There were several people that lived in that home. If you're watching that and you lived in that home, then you know exactly what home I'm talking about. There were several rooms. There was a basement. Um, it was a big space. It started off with the touching, the him showing me his privates, and all of that in that home, right? Um, and then it came all of a sudden where we moved, and we moved into a smaller home. We moved into an efficiency of some sort. So it was still like the one big room with, my father, my brother, we each had our own beds and everything. So that was that circumstance there. Um, and that's where it actually progressed to penetration. So it went from the touching or the being touched and to full on penetration. And I kid you not, it went on from about elementary school to the sixth or the seventh grade. And it's almost like I knew that there was something wrong with it because not only was I a sad child growing up, you looked at me, you could tell that I was like, miserable. Not only was I a sad child growing up, but I was also like in any instant I would just start crying, and I always hiding it from people. Like let's say I was in the back of the church van, like I would like lay down and pretend like I'm sleeping, but actually I'm crying. I'm in the bathroom taking a shower, crying, and like I would take long showers just to spend time crying. It's like I didn't know, but I knew there was something wrong. Something wasn't right. That the one that was supposed to be protecting me was actually the one that was preying on me. So instead of praying for me, he was preying on me. And if I didn't announce it before, yes, my father is a pastor. So that was around the time that the church was on 119th Street. So it stopped at that time. And shortly after it stopped, that's around the same time that I spent 3 days hospitalized at the hospital for my left leg that was swollen. Um, it came on all of a sudden. I remember just walking home from school and then just feeling this random pain in my leg that hit all out of nowhere. And then the next morning I woke up, my foot was swelled up. My foot was swollen for, I think probably, don't quote me on this, probably about a week. And I recall hearing the church members telling Past, hey, you need to bring her to the hospital. Like the leg doesn't seem to be going down, so you need to bring her to the hospital. I finally went to the hospital. I spent 3 days in the hospital. They did all types of tests. Those who know. They did all types of tests. They did all types of scans, and they couldn't find absolutely anything that was wrong with that leg. Nothing. From that point on, this leg, up until recently, by God's grace, the Lord has delivered me. He has set me free. And thank God, I give you all of the praise, all the glory, all the honor, Lord. So up until recently, the foot stopped swelling on the left foot, to be exact. So you know how it started, you know what happened shortly after. it stopped. Although my abuse story didn't start with him, it helped to shape my early viewpoint on men and society in general. Like in my mind, men became like someone who, they can't be trusted. I see them and I start walking a different way. Sometimes I would see them and start like, behaving like a tomboy. I remember going to the stores whenever I had like spare change, spare money, and I would go to the store and I would buy like, toys that were way below my age range. Like I would buy Barbie dolls. I would make clothes for the Barbie dolls and things like that. And it's like I was trying to capture, looking back, I was trying to capture a childhood that I never had, because in a sense I was forced, like, out of it. I never really enjoyed my childhood, so to speak, due to the experience that I had at the hands of my abuser. Again, I blame him. I blame him because he was supposed to be my protector. Little girls look at their father as someone who's there to protect them. I didn't have that with him because he was the predator himself. I also blame the cultural traditions. And within the Haitian background, we know that they have like this culture where, okay, they put the thing under the rug, they put the abuse under the rug so as to protect an image. It's all about what would people say, what would people think, basically. And all in all, it aids in protecting the abuser. So my question to you is, if those who are supposed to be praying for you are the ones who are actually preying on you, if not for the grace of God, you're easy bait for everyone and everything else. Have I confronted him already? Yes, I have. We're now in 2025. So maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I confronted him. And I was told to my face that it did not happen. I remember tears rolling down my face because I thought he was going to say yes. Like, fess up. Like, you're big and bad. Like, you did what you did. But no, I was told to my face that it did not happen. And eventually, like I told you, which is why I apologized at the beginning of this video, because I got sick and tired of waiting to get a confession to hear like, hey, yes, I did it. And so I decided to let it go. But again, I acted prematurely because God wasn't done with it. I was done with it, but God wasn't done with it. Right now, I'd like to encourage you, to those who know someone who's been abused, or the abuser, expose, don't cover it up, don't hide it, and don't be afraid. You're doing it not to shame someone, but you're doing it to save a life, because there are people who have gone through what I've gone through, and unfortunately, they don't turn out, they don't turn out the same way in which I've turned out. Guys, this is my experience that God placed on my heart to share. Yes, it happened to me, but it doesn't define me. I thank God, my Redeemer, because he carried me through, and indeed he is my ever present help in time of sorrow, in time of need, in time of lack, in time of drought, in time of rain. He is my ever present help. One last thing, it's time for us to stop giving into the fear of judgment, the fear of what others will think. Because to be honest, I didn't understand, everything, because whenever I thought to speak up earlier than I did, there was always some thoughts that were coming to my head. What will this person think? What will that person think? What will this person say? So that kept me back from speaking up, like tarnished image, all of those things. I say that kept me back, but we know that it was all thoughts from the enemy, and it was linked to the foot thing. Like we know. But all of those things came. So fear kept me in a cage, where I wasn't able to speak for so long. And I thank God for setting me free from that. But I encourage you to step out of fear, step out of judgment. Don't be afraid to speak about what happened to you. It happened to you, but it doesn't define who you are. I encourage you to share this testimony, guys, with others, because again, fear does not come from God. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 says, "For God has not given me a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and of a sound mind." I'm so happy I got to share this experience with you. Thank you again for watching Deep Renew, your hub for all things God, life, and productivity. I pray that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers.